But now for a slightly more sobering topic, we have Kristof Fahy, well-known marketeer in the industry, CMO of Moonpig, who is going to talk us about the topic, remember who pays your wages. So looking forward to this one, as Kristof's usually got a direct and incisive way of presenting. Over to you, Kristof.
Thanks, Paul. Right, so I'm Kristof. I'm the CMO at Moonpig.com, which is the UK's favourite online card shop. And look, you may think the focus of the next few minutes might be too simplistic. You may think that you'd prefer a high-powered intellectual thesis on marketing and how we all raise our game. Well, you're not going to get that here. So I'm going to go lowbrow, back to basics, because I want to talk to you about something that I think is key to all of us raising our game now and in whatever circumstances we find ourselves over the next years and months. And that is the importance of remembering who actually pays your wages, which is your customers. Because I think something happens when we turn up for work or get into work mode. We can forget that we're actually human beings, or at least real people. Because a whole language changes. We become part of a business machine, and most importantly, our friends and family who were outside the office door or before we log on to work become customers. And we suddenly talk about real people in the abstract, and we then have to divide them into segments to understand them. And then we take ages coming up with interesting, obscure, or just plain abstract names for those segments. Or, weirdly, we go full circle and end up naming our segments like real people, which is maybe just slightly ironic. And then, of course, we watch them use our own products behind two-way mirrors and in research groups, because for some reason we can't or don't, or at least not often enough, use our own stuff. And then even when we do use our own stuff, we accept all the bits of the product and service we know we need to fix because we know it's on a roadmap somewhere. So basically, it's someone else's problem. So simply put, at work, it's easy to forget who pays your wages, which is the customer. And actually, that's kind of you and me. And we seem to actively do things that would drive us nuts in the real world. So at Moonpig, we recently ran an eBay test where we used the words "delivered tomorrow." On questioning, I discovered that actually it meant the card was dispatched tomorrow. And I said, would you be happy with that in your own life? And they said, no. And I went, well, why are we doing it then? So remember that if it would drive you nuts, then why are you doing it for all the people who give you the money for what your brand offers? I remember when I walked around the Yahoo office, and this was a while ago, and everyone in the office would be on Google products. And I would say, then why are you here? And happy to take the Yahoo dollar if you don't believe in what we're asking your customers to pay for and use. Because it's that money that customers give us. Well, let's remember again, real people just like you and me, that gives you, that pays your wages. So here's a few things I want you to think about next time you log into work mode. 1, don't treat the people who pay your wages like abstract objects. They're not. Don't put things in your products and services that you wouldn't like yourself. Above all, don't market something that you don't believe in. Because when you're passionate about your product and the people who use it and the people who give you the money to do so, not only will you be a happier person, your product or service will be way better too. And of course, you'll get paid. Thank you.
Marvellous and always provocative. Thank you, Kristof. So I'm going to start with a question around, like, how do you actually get that to work? That's a lot of cross-functional skills and getting people to work together, because couldn't disagree with anything you said, but connecting product and e-com and customer experience and website and marketing and media can sometimes be a challenge, which is why people don't do it brilliantly. So what is it that you do differently at Moonpig that actually allows you to deliver on that?
I would love to say we do it differently from everyone else. And I think the point of being a bit provocative is it's just so easy to get caught up in that walk through the door, log in, suddenly the people you were become customers. And I'm just trying to rattle a bit of a cage in people's heads, because I think I've been in that role and I've been in that situation where they've put a poster up on the wall and they've called the person Tony. And I'm like, you probably know a Tony. You probably don't need to know that. Yeah. So I think it's just about, it's like a watch, really. It's like even that conversation we had with the product people the other day of the kind of putting things in a customer journey, which, while may be sensible from, I don't know, a conversion or a UX perspective, actually are the sort of jarring things that when when you log off and then you log on to other things to do your personal stuff, you're sitting there going, well, that's just really frustrating. Like, don't do it. It feels, it's I think it's so easy in marketing to spend hours doing research and segmentation, but sort of forget that actually your own experience is really important. I suppose that's really the point I'm trying to make.
No, that's a great point. And I guess if you're kind of giving people permission to say what's in their head, because quite often I think people don't say, well, is that the best experience? Shouldn't it be easier? They think that somebody smarter, an agency, creative director, e-commerce guys come up with it, and therefore it must be the right way to do it. But you're right, there's some simplistic things that we understand, and customer experience has probably never been so difficult to achieve. So just giving people permission, I think, is a great first step, right?
I think, and look, I think your first question is bang on. Like, all of many of the organisations we all work in have these handoffs between different departments that run part of the customer experience. And I remember we did, in my days at Labrooks, we did this brilliant piece of customer experience mapping, where we mapped the kind of journey across all the customers' points, and we had something like I don't know, let's call it 70 touch points.
Yeah.
And it was handled by 27 different teams.
Right.
And at that point, you have those kind of moments of clarity. You go, how the hell does that handoff work? If, for example, on a bad day, a customer comes in at point 1 and has to go all the way to point 77, they're getting pushed across 17 different or 27 different customer teams. It's going to go wrong. It's just going to go wrong. Yeah. So that was a real lightning moment about, okay, one, we need to strip that down. One, we need to make the handoffs clear. I mean, I think it's very difficult to make this stuff perfect, and you know that better than anyone. Yeah. But you can excuse my language, you can bloody well try your best, I think is probably the point.
Absolutely. Really. And I have one last question, Joe, even we're running out, because I think it's a great conversation. How are you thinking about building the skills so more people have got the ability to look across this like you do? Because most people unfortunately have lived in their own horizontal, kind of narrow views of marketing. How are you building people that have got T-shaped skills?
It's really good. And I think as Moonpig, we are absolutely trying, probably like lots of businesses are, to take a person who works in performance and put them into product design and give her that. And as always, and I'm a seasoned marketeer, as I get called now. I've seen the HR chat, but actually the reality is often a bit different. Yeah. But look, I would love to cross-pollinate skills and do all that stuff, but it's hard. But I think even if you just do 1 or 2 people every 6 months, it starts to kind of spread that knowledge a bit further. Yeah, absolutely agree. Well, look, thank you, Kristof. Always a pleasure. See you soon. My pleasure. Cheers.